The answer is right here with Doreen and Grace.
But do we really have the right answer?
Maybe or maybe not, but we try to make sense of what's happening around us.
Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode. Grace.
And I'm Doreen. And before we even go deep into it, thank you so much. We just want to appreciate you for just tuning in each and every Monday. At least some of you even told me last Monday, what's the time I'm watching premiering. I'm waiting for it. Please send me the link as early as possible. I just want to tell you, thank you, and thank you so much. And continue tuning in. You'll continue enjoying our content.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Share with your friends. Or whoever.
With your colleagues, watch with your partners. Just get to listen to these beautiful voices talking each and every day in your TV. When your voice is not beautiful.
Well. Let's get into it, Doreen. Let's get into it.
So today we are talking about a very sensitive topic: money, politics, and democracy. Let's start with money first before we go deep into our research topic of the day.
Yeah, money is that conversation that normally it's like a taboo, even in our African homes, where it's so hard to talk about money with your parents, with your partners, even with your friends.
With your siblings.
Yeah.
Yani pesa ndo inakosanisha watu each and every day. And that's what we are talking about today.
Which... First and foremost, let us look into the activities of the day. Currently, it's on the 8th, and the president has assented the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2026. The bill, which is now an act, it increases government expenditure by 393 billion, raising the budget from 4.3 trillion to 4.69 trillion. So maybe I'll give a breakdown of how the sectors have been allocated.
Yes.
The education sector has received an allocation of 45.28 billion under the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2026, reinforcing the government commitment to reforms and universal schooling. So the affordable housing program has been allocated 25 billion, while the agriculture sector will receive close to 18 billion, including 10 billion for the subsidized fertilizer program. An additional 2 billion has been set aside to compensate victims of protests, where 675 million will go towards upgrading level 4 hospitals across the country. Overall, the act raises the total government expenditure by 393 billion, increasing the budget from 4.3 trillion to 4.69 trillion. Hey?
Yeah. Even before I go to how it's gonna affect us as citizens, I just want to point specific things compensating the protests.
Yeah, the compensating victims of protests.
2 billion. 2 billion. These are the things that we are going to follow up to the latter. Yeah, as a millennial, as someone who went for protests for the finance bill, and it's coming up in the next financial year, that is something that I'm gonna follow. Then something on affordable housing. We are seeing these things. Today we see so many houses being built, but we're also looking at how are we benefiting from that. I wish we could have followed a system that I saw in Rwanda. You know, right now how Rwanda is doing its affordable housing. There's a new system. Yeah, there's a new system that is coming up, and how are they doing it?
You tell me.
Yeah, there's a way the government of Rwanda is doing it in such a way that by the time you are done with that house, you're gonna own it. So it's like a mortgage something. I think I'm gonna look into it.
Like the way Kenya is doing, Ama?
No, not the way Kenya is doing, but it's for you to own that house. That is how Rwanda is doing it. I think I'm gonna look at it. Kenya is not doing the same. The Rwanda is quite different. I think I'm going to look at it and talk about it in the next podcast. Now, let me look at the economic and the future outlook of this thing. I'm looking at the tax burden, and this is thing that this is something that we normally talk about it each and every time. Like when bills go high, when funds are being added to our budget, it gives us the tax pressure.
Yeah.
So it means we are looking at the KRA authority is looking at high tax pressures. It's looking at targets. So they have to achieve these targets. So we have to. It means more taxes for us.
More taxes for us.
Yeah.
More burdens for the people.
More burdens for the people.
And well, I hope now they'll be able to print the books.
Yeah, and you have to comply. Remember that we talked about that. We're also looking at debt. We are talking about a very high debt, and still we are coming up with very high expenditures. So who is going to service this debt? We are looking at debt versus stability. That is something that we also need to look into. Yeah, each and every day. Yeah. What's your comment on that?
I think we are in for a ride. And with our topic of research today being on campaign financing, it just goes to show that our money will be very busy out here.
Yeah.
It will be put into use very, very well. And I'd say it's unfortunate because as the spending of the government increases, campaigns coming in, even people also themselves as the people will also want money in their pockets.
In their pocket, and that's bring us into our topic of the day, our research topic of the day. I think we're going to talk about this topic as early as this time because it's quite long and quite interesting, and we also want to review some specific papers considering we talked about women in leadership last time, and we mentioned the burden of campaign financing among women or among the marginalized community, the marginalized group per se, not community. So talking about money, and campaign financing. We'll bring it in.
So when you talk of campaign financing, we are going to look at how does money shape politics in Kenya? Why is campaign financing still poorly regulated despite laws? What risk does this pose to democracy? And what reforms are needed before the 2027 elections?
Yeah, looking at it, we've had like our constitution, we still call it a new constitution since 2010. There has been a campaign finance law since 2013. Now, 13 years down the line, we still see a problem that this law that was made, like this law that came into like place in 2013, 13 years down the line, it's not yet fully operational until now. And we are heading to the next general election of 2027. So how will it work in terms of campaign financing? So we had to dig deeper because we are looking at women are affected in this thing. We had to dig deeper, and we come across this paper that we also want to review.
So maybe we can start on why campaign finance matters. So this paper tried to explain how elections are not just political processes, they are a financial system. Running for office in Kenya requires money for party nominations. Remember, as a woman rep, you are a member of KANU, right?
Yeah.
How much do women pay just for party nominations?
Okay, I don't know the exact amount, but it depends normally. But normally, like there's a cut, around 50% that is normally at least given to subsidize the amount of money that women, youth, and persons with disability pay. But the issue is not that campaign financing is only affecting Kenya, it's a worldwide thing.
I wanted to just give a rundown on how campaign financing comes.
Okay.
So running for office in Kenya, you require money for party nomination, campaign logistics, moving around, media and advertising, and even voter mobilization. And as you're saying, and globally, campaign costs are rising.
Yes. And every now and then we see politicians coming with a lot of money. So our issue is who accounts for this money, either source of funding or consumption. Before we even go deep into handouts and people trying to see like, we took you there, we have, and we were disappointed with you. Now we have to get back our money. You have to give us that money, because we don't know when we choose you, when you go back to that seat, if you're going to support us or if you're going to bring services to us.
Oh, you're
now
talking
we
now
have
about
to
the funders, the donors.
I'm not talking about the donors. I'm talking about us as citizens and the leaders that we put there, and how they haven't accounted for their money. They are consuming the money, and now they have to recoup their money. But then when they go and recoup their money, we are not sure if they're going to support us, because they're going to deliver services in the government. You understand what I say?
I'm trying to understand. It's like, I'd say politics is like an investment to these politicians. And so they have to get there and recover the cost that they already incurred while campaigning and all that.
Yes.
So you're asking,
who accounts for this? Is there, because we don't have transparency. We've seen we have laws in place which have not been operationalized. And according to our research and review of papers, we are looking at an issue where this campaign financing act, since 2013, it has not been fully operational. It went to the court of laws. It went to the parliament. The parliament refused to pass the law. They declined approval of the draft law. Yeah. Afterwards, they said the IEBC went and they were told, actually, it requires public participation. Yeah, not the parliament approval. Now we are looking at how will it happen in 2027.
It going to parliament and not being, was it passed? It was passed.
No, it was not passed. It was declined in 2021.
So as I'm saying, it's been passed, but the vision operational framework is the one that remains absent. Maybe just to give also a little back context again, in 2021, the IBC developed draft electoral campaign financing regulation, but Parliament declined to approve these regulations. Critics in the civil society are saying that politicians are defending their campaign financing sources.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said. So it's not that we don't know what to do. It's just that the people who are supposed to enforce these rules are benefiting from breaking them.
Yeah.
The people who are supposed to make these operational or supposed to implement these things, they're not doing this in their favor. It's like they are referees in their own game. Yeah. And they know at the end of the day, we are going to win this thing. So at the end of the day, who suffers? These are the citizens who are going to vote, and they have nothing to do. As we look at our paper in the review of even Afrobarometer survey, we have very little trust in all these institutions, including even the government, the MPs, the president, and all that. We have very little trust with them because we see this time they come, they do the same thing, they come the next time. So it looks like we blame the politicians, but then we have to look for handouts for them to go. We take them back. So we are not even looking at accountability. We are not even looking at the leaders who we are choosing, if they are competent enough, if they can deliver services. But we are looking at who can now give more money so that I support them.
Yeah, when you get into politics, citizens just assume you have money, and so we are going to wait for you to come and give us this money.
Yeah, so we've normalized this thing of money and campaign financing so much. But think about it, like if you are struggling and a candidate gives you money, are you really going to refuse it?
Well, you can't refuse it, but you should refuse it.
You should, but the system is already broken. Like even the economy is at its verge of, I don't know.
I mean, you need that 5 so.
Yeah, you need that 5 so. So we are looking to survive. We are working in a very broken system. So as citizens, what are we supposed to do?
As citizens, let me just blame a bit on the citizens. citizens, most of them, they lack understanding of these laws that have been put in place. So, in as much as they want to express their frustrations, what will I say? What can you possibly do?
Yeah, and that's why it's the work of the media and the work of the civil society organization to do advocacy. But then when we look at the media, we see the media normally talking about campaign financing when it's close to elections. But then when you go deep into now the year, the years to come, they normally don't talk about it. They're normally silent in all that time. But when it comes to election, they're not talking about it. Same to the civil society organization, they still do the same. And even the political parties that are supposed to be able to be accountable for their for the people who are running in those political parties, they're now like someone has brought money, they're not controlling the money that someone brings in, and at the end of the day, when they're even there, it even, what is it called? It doesn't give that let me use the term dignity to the to the political parties, because now I have money and I've been able to get to that point, and now no one can tell me in that specific political party. Do you get me? Do you get what I'm talking about? Yeah. So as we speak, what is the role of the media in this?
For the media, it's a push and pull, because you find media houses that are often critiquing the government or even the campaign finance violation. They risk exclusion from government briefings, denial of interviews, or exposure to legal and administrative harassment. So are you going to lose business just because you want to talk about campaign financing? There is also that part, because unfortunately the state controls the media.
But we are looking at transparency. We are looking at spending limits. We are looking at enforcement of these laws. And who is going to do even advocacy to tell the citizen it works this way? We want to build our systems. If the media is now looking at whatever you are saying, who is going to do all this? Who is going to fix this system? Who is going to remove us from this issue of not trusting the government but wanting to receive handouts during elections? Maybe tell us, Grace, because it's becoming...
As I said, money is a very sensitive topic.
Yeah.
Because Doreen, you're not going to tell me, even as a media house, I'm going to... It's also a matter of ethics and where you stand. You risk losing business. You risk losing advertising, in prime interviews, just because you are critiquing campaign violations, financing. So,
but what is the role of the media? What is the role of the civil society organization, Gracie?
If you are being realistic, this is Kenya and this is what happens. You remember how the state itakuja iseme, we are going to close down that station of viewers.
But then it's the same thing. Like you are taking handouts from the leaders who are going to tell you that.
Yeah,
so just
it's the same thing that citizens are doing. So
just pass laws to restrict that, because now it comes back to the citizen, because now it's not the parliament to approve laws. It's through public participation. Let the citizens approve that. Let the citizen go for the right thing.
I think I remain the critic here, because even when it goes to parliament, because these issues they have also been raised in parliament, the acts and all that, the operational frameworks, they don't want, because it's like shooting your own foot. You can't cap. Maybe let's say the operational framework would state that for you to campaign as a president, you just need 15 million. And you know very well you cannot use 15 million to do your campaigns in Kenya. Will you shoot your own foot? I don't know how long this push and pull will go, but maybe we can look at some of the pathways for reforming election campaign financing.
Okay.
According to the paper that we were looking at, they suggested empowering voters via financial equity. this recommendation, it aims at strengthening vertical accountability. That is in reform public funding mechanism. So consider expanding section 26 of the PPA to include promotional activities like campaign financing, finance research, voter education, and even gender inclusion.
Yeah, we're also supposed to look at these legal gaps and make sure that there's transparency, expose those donors, track those donations, cap spending, so that we know like this is the amount of money that you're using. As much as we want fair funding, equitable funding, so that those even candidates, especially women, youth, and persons with disability who are not able to afford these running for elections, ensure there is transparency, ensure there is fair funding, and these laws are supposed, these legal frameworks are supposed to be implemented.
Talking of
so
which,
that
I
it's
saw,
very,
I don't know, it's apparently Maraga returned a donation of, I don't know, around 8 million that was anonymous. I don't know how many millions it was. I can't quote it, but he returned it because it was not, the source of fund was unknown.
Yeah, and this is something that we need to look into and be very transparent, and also implement these legal frameworks so that these are fair and equitable funding to support smaller and also new candidates, and also to ensure like everyone is able to vie for these positions in an equal manner and also win, so that we know there's transparency, and we are able to account for these leaders to be able to deliver services when they're in those positions. Yes. Apart from that, civil society just needs to do their job in terms of advocacy. Tell citizens what's wrong. Do voter, what is it called, civic engagement. Ensure there is civic engagement, ensure that the citizens learn each and everything that happens during pre-election and post-election period, so that there's even that tracking system. And we can even go digital. Gen Zs have gone digital and it has survived. Why not do digital tracking system so that there's a stronger enforcement to this?
Yeah, the civil societies and also the CBOs, they can establish some partnerships to educate voters at the grassroots levels, and the level of impact of money in politics. As you were saying, digitize these records in a way that anybody can access and can track the flow of money, where it's coming from, what it's being used.
Yes.
There's also strengthening media engagement, making sure at least the media houses, can you say they're independent, making them independent?
But they're supposed to be independent.
But they're not.
I can't talk about that.
We know, it's true. They're just not. But yeah, funding media houses to promote public interest priming around election campaign financing, rather than just them talking about scandals every time. So, yeah.
Yeah, apart from that, maybe I can ask you what you think in this phrase, because I have at least one hot take of phrase. Kenya doesn't have democracy problem. It has a money problem. Is it a hot take?
Kenya doesn't have
a democracy problem. It has a money problem. What do you think about that?
Do we have a money problem, or accountability is our biggest problem?
You tell me.
I'd say so. It doesn't have a money problem.
It has a democracy problem.
Yeah.
Okay, explain it.
Because implementing democracy requires transparency, requires accountability. So it's in how we are spending this money that matters more. So the money is there, but how we see it being used and the project that the government is doing or whatever they are trying to do is where money get lost, and now we have a lot of issues that come as a result of that.
And I want you to tell me in terms of handouts. People are receiving handouts. They are taking in leaders who have given money. So in real sense, you can't say I've taken a good leader there to deliver a service. So is that democratic?
Taking handouts?
Yeah, you are paying me for me to elect you.
Of a voter buying, rather.
Yeah, voter buying. So can I call it that? Can I call that democracy? That's why I'm asking you.
Of course,
we
it's
don't
not.
have a democracy problem. We have a money problem.
As the people, we have both, but mostly it's a democracy problem.
Okay.
In implementation of it.
Everyone has their say towards that.
In the implementation of it, it's where there's issue, because I'm thinking if things went well and let's say there was no corruption passing,
Okay.
You will have money in your pocket somehow, because I'm assuming the economy will be doing better, or there's not a lot of money being lost or being stolen, yeah, and everything is accounted for. So if it kama ni unga, you can afford. That's my point. The voter can afford. So you are not going to come and buy my vote with 500 bob.
Okay, talking about buying vote, I have another one. Campaign finance is legalized inequality. What do you think?
Is legalized
Inequality.
Campaign yeah. It's a hot take.
Yeah.
Campaign.
Do you have something to say?
Campaign finance is a legalized
inequality.
Yeah, because, well, of course, we can't say it's a legalized inequality in literal, but it is because when you talk about women and youths, we are on the disadvantage end when it comes to campaign financing. Some of us, or rather some of these women and youths, don't have political godfathers. So in as much as I have a good agenda, it remains as a very good manifesto on paper, but I can never implement it because I don't have the money to campaign, to buy the voters, in quotes. So yes, it's a legalized inequality in Kenya. Yeah.
Okay. I think my OTEX are done.
Your OTEX are done.
I think we wanted to review the paper, but at the end of the day, our ideas were all over, and we wanted to talk about more and more of different issues. Yeah. But I think
it's because the truth of the matter is you need money in Kenya to win an election, and not small money. And before people can change their attitudes to be able to be like, no, you know what, we are not taking handouts. We don't want your money. Come and do work for us. Well, it's gonna take a hot minute.
A little while,
it's gonna take a hot minute. But maybe what we can do is, as the CSOs, as the media, CBOs, all the players, to do their part to be able to make sure that we are shifting attitudes of the common mwananchi on what it means when you take that 500 bob. Kuna mahali utalipia, and it will be times 10, you know?
Yes.
So you have something else to add, Doreen?
Yeah, maybe just to ask. You've stated quite clear, but we also need to add, as we finish, we also need to ask ourselves, where do we stand as Kenyans? Yeah, we are very hopeful. We have reforms about this, but then we need to also look at our attitude. Are we going like this way or that way? Are we looking at new transparency ways in terms of digital systems, or we just expect our leaders to be transparent? Are we looking at civil society organizations to provide oversight to help us? Yeah, we also need to look at that. But without breaking these cycles, we are not heading anywhere. We are not looking at, we won't say it's democracy for long. At some point, someone will suffer somewhere.
Yeah, I think it starts with an individual. If you say myself, I'll not take a handout, and the other says, I'll not take a handout. And now when you come to campaign, people are looking at you and what you're saying. Because hata sasa ukiangalia kwa ground, people don't have really good manifestos or whatever. It's just that they know, I'm getting something out of it, and I'll give the people 1,000 bob or something, and they will elect me.
And something else that we also need to look at, and it's very important, the systems. I think we just mentioned IEBC for once, but then when the IEBC is no longer independent, when we look at the ORPP, it's still weak. Like we look at these institutions.
The tension between these two already.
Yeah, we still look at opposition, which is not opposition, that cannot. So they are very confusing systems and very weak systems that need to be. It's already in government and it's already supporting this, so it's hard to even pull out of that. So we need to strengthen our systems first before we even go to individuals and electing right leaders for us. Yes. Apart from that, do you have any tag for us? Any opportunities?
For this week, I'd say you check the listke.com, and that's it. That's the tag. That's the tag for this week.
Yes, you'll be getting very interesting things from the List KE, very interesting events from the List KE, and also we'll be tagging you to research opportunities. Yes.
Other than that, it was an amazing episode. We'll see you, or you hear from us again.
Bye.
Soon. Toodles. Bye. You know I've not.